Yes, indeed, we have said a number of times here in the press room that the Commission has been preparing, as you would expect, for the result of the U.S. elections and for the victory of one or the other of the candidates. And these preparations obviously looked into the different policy areas that can affect the European Union in terms of policies that would be implemented by the new president and the new administration. Now, it's completely premature at this stage to start discussing what policies the EU could adopt, because of course the new administration will only come into office early next year. And then, of course, we will have to see what are the policy orientations that are taken by the new administration. But perhaps let me make a couple of points very, very clear. The first is that there is a historical relationship, deep-rooted and very intensive relationship between the European Union and the United States. We are major commercial partners. We are major investment partners. We work together on issues across the globe. The issue of Ukraine has just been mentioned, and this goes much deeper than the result of any individual election goes in itself. And we, of course, are very confident that this relationship and this transatlantic partnership is going to continue. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the European Union, of course, has its own very strong policy goals and policy tools. We are, after all, a union of 450 million citizens. We have one of the strongest economies in the world. We are a major trade partner and trade export power in the world, and therefore we have very, very strong policy orientations. And the latest incarnation of these policy orientations was set by the President in her political guidelines, which were set out in July, and on which she was then elected by the Parliament of the European Union, by the European Parliament. So we are, first and foremost, of course, going to continue working on our policy priorities. Now, we've already discussed one, and that's climate. We have discussed another. It is support to Ukraine, and I invite you to read once again these political guidelines to see the breadth and the scope of all that the Commission is planning to implement over the new mandate. Of course, in certain areas, this has interactions with the U.S. They also predate the election. I would like to quote here, of course, the report by Mario Draghi on European competitiveness, which is definitely something on which we are focusing very much and which will be discussed, of course, in the context of the informal summit in Budapest at the end of the week. So will the result of the U.S. election be discussed in Budapest? It's not for me to discuss the agenda of the informal summit, but I am absolutely certain that it will, of course, be one of the subjects of conversation among the leaders.